Interesting.
That chance still seems bad. I know you were saying it kind of gives you an extra 10% or so. You know, even as
Yeah, it's not
over.
amazing.
It's just not.
It's
good.
really not amazing. No.
Yeah.
It's basically old dumb luck because it used to scale from your strength anyway, so they just split that into a facet.
Yeah.
And mind you, if you're playing offlane ogre, I think it might be preferable with like heart rushes, stuff like that, strength padding. But
I think offlane.
it's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can get
Again,
that.
on support, you think about it, right? Earlier level 12 spike, earlier level 25 talent to 24, you know, all of these earlier spikes. Again, it's just like the Grimoire, but better. Because it doesn't disappear, Mike.
No, it doesn't disappear, John, but I just... I don't know how much...
What if he had a Black Grimoire?
What if?
Wouldn't it be amazing?
What if? Now you're thinking, Jonathan. What I'm saying, though, like, this hero, this ogre hero, on paper, feels like it should be amazing. But in reality, just feels kind of trashy. I hope Why You Smile shows us something really nice here with the with this ogre support, because I don't get to see it very often in pro games. But I'm not really holding my breath. We'll see.
The battle begins.
2 for 2 on the... Oh, a 3 for 1 again on the bounty.
Again.
Zhao, the only one to be able to pick up a bounty again, as it is going to be 3 going the way of LGD Gaming. See if that ends up making much of a difference. We'll start with the mid lane, of course, where you are going to see Echoes on the mid Pango up against Arbet on the mid Void Spirit. What to think about this mid lane, Jonathan?
Pretty stable. I think you have a little bit of an edge for Echoes with a double jump. There's a little bit more harassment from Pump Out, but Arbet is fairly hard to pin down as well. He does go for a rather interesting pick. He does go Symmetry instead of the shield, so he doesn't have an all damage block shield from Resonant Pulse, but he is going to be doing a little bit more. He's going to be getting a little bit more shield as well from the damage he deals with his spells. So it's an interesting way to kind of cut through and protect yourself from, say, the damage that Timbersaw can do with magical, although it is considered pure, so I don't think it blocks that, but I'm keen to see how much Ovid can get out. I don't think Echoes is going to be bullied out whatsoever, but Ovid should have a bit more of a playable lane. Rune control is going to be a big part, and in that sense, LGD might have a little bit of an edge if you get the levels up here for PYW. If you can start to leave that bot lane, which you should be able to do, since it's a Timbersaw renew, you can easily rotate in a, say, even a 4-minute water rune if that's really important here for LGD, and start to apply some pressure with some early level spikes that the Spirit Breaker can find if he gets these pulls off.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm just looking at this top lane. Like, Why You Smile was trying his absolute best to chase down Tims and do some form of damage, but he's just getting kited. Plus, he is still level 1 on the Ogre, now hits level 2, so does have the level 2 Ignite plus the level 1 Fire Blast, and they are going to try and play off of the back of that.
Look at that.
With Shiro and the Metamorphosis still chase down Tims. Surely they've got the kill, and they will. Very nice pick up here for Shiro to get the game started. Already first blood being drawn their way. You know, the Ogre, that's his big spike in the laning stage. John, it's done.
I mean, it's always a big spike as you get levels, because again, you get that earlier level requirements. You get your 6 at 5. I think it's just a really rough level 1, but you are playing with Terrorblade anyway, who kind of wants level 2 anyhow if you want to play aggressive, so you are playing more passive. They aren't punished too early on. It's hard to fully punish an Ogre Magi, even with no skill points, just by his durability. So you are going to get value out for LGD. It's going to be a bit of a rougher time for Gabby, as long as Metamorphosis is up from Shiro, but every time it's gone, it's pretty manageable for the Beastmaster. You've got a lot of ways of shredding here.
Jimmy in the middle of nowhere right now on the Ursa will eventually be able to get his way out, but certainly a little bit scary with the bashes that were incoming from PYW. 3-minute Lotus pool timing is upon us. Looks like Zhao and PYW will fight over it. Why You Smile will be able to secure his own Lotus pretty easily. No real contest for him as Zhao will miss out. Zhao actually getting bashed on his way out as well by PYW. In both the side lanes in particular. But so far, only 1 kill.
Yeah, only 1. Oh, Zhao.
Make that 2. Zhao is gone. Zhao is down. PYW hits the back. You love to see it.
He hits the bash, and Natsumi kind of blocks Zhao in, trying
Very
to
good.
help his teammate, trying to get some damage. You know, it happens. A nice freebie coming out for LGD. These are very necessary kills for the side of LGD to find, mind you. And they are getting aggressive, but they are missing out on quite a fair bit of farm. Natsumi pulling ahead in CS. That does allow a little bit of a bottle top-up for Abed as well. Does get a little bit of a reset to hold on to that mid. And that does allow Zhao to snipe away one refill. Although Echoes will head top. It's just basically equalizing for Abed, but that is still important considering how close that mid lane is. I think, again, you've got this really decent start for LGD in terms of the kills. The net worth is starting to pile up, even though the CS is behind off the back of those pickoffs. And this is a much stronger showing from LGD. This was kind of lacking in game one. That laning presence just wasn't there. This time around, they've got a lot more play on hand here.
They absolutely do. LGD Gaming, props to them. At least for now, a fantastic start. Something I'm very happy to see is now top lane, Gabby will be charged by PYW, and this should be another kill to go their way. Gabby doesn't even bother trying to run. Shiro will secure his second kill of the game on the Terror Blade. And I'm so glad LGD came out swinging in game 2, because the game 1 was just so depressing to watch from their end of things. You know, it's just nice that we have a much more even style of game already.
That it is. Again, they've got a lineup that has a lot of play early on. PYW being sneaky, just getting that rotation in is massive. Heck, he's even managing to scout out the triangle. Doesn't manage to get any blocks, but there's no stacks anyhow. Ensuring that they can keep track of whether or not Gabby's going to have that flash farm. And just working the map well. Again, it's a lot slower for Blacklist. They're going to have a launching point once Abed does hit 6, maybe off the back of a power rune as well. They have to respect this aggression that LGD has on hand.
Bottom lane, big group up. Natsumi being chased. They've got the charge as well, so they've got the vision here on the Ursa. Chase continues. PYW will land the charge. Can he get some extra bashes? Not quite yet, but it may not matter anyway. They'll continue the chase, and News got him. Very nice kill here from LGD once again. This time they do catch up the Ursa with his pants down. And shout out to PYW, John. This Spirit Breaker, the impact is already just very high.
Yeah, again, that rotation top, the instant charge down bot from that dive, and that they were trying to attempt with Natsumi and Zhao. Just falling flat. He's making sure that the laning pressure, the pressure is felt across the map. They do get some room to shove in mid, down to half HP. And you have that level 6 up in Abed here.
They're going to try into Echoes, but it's just an Astral Step. Just a warning shot here for the Pangali. Bushwhack, though, is going to land. That's more than a warning shot, but the Rolling Thunder will come through. Echo's now going to move back onto Tim's, looking for the Hoodwink attempt, but he is dropping very low in the HP department. The Fairy Fire going to keep Tim's alive. Echo's now in danger. He'll try to find a way out. In fact, he'll jump back in. He'll take down Tim's, but can he find his own way out? He's still running. The Fire Blast going to be enough to buy Pangali the space. Meanwhile, Zhao still being chased by PYW, unable to die, but it won't matter. PYW will take his courier. That had the full earn on for Zhao on it. The earn going to be down for another minute 15, and PYW still able to successfully TP away. And all in all, I mean, the fact that your mid Pango survived that whole initiation, you've got to be happy if you're LGD game.
And you are. It's tough for the side of Blacklist to get this chain initiation that we want from Abed. Doesn't have the value point. The Remnant has no way to really stop the roll, as it's very telegraphed, of course, from Echoes. So they're not really able to keep that lockdown there.
Natsumi's going to try and turn here onto New, but he may be going a bit too far, I think. Run back towards the tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, Zhao should just drop here to New eventually. And he will, but here comes Abed trying to turn, does secure the kill. The New is down. Shiro, though, showing up, does take down Natsumi. And Abed can do nothing about it. He's already found a kill for himself, but the problem is he's going to find no more. And Shiro, props to him for a very early rotation that does pan out. And Natsumi dying a second time.
Really good read from Shiro. Just, again, play aggressively across the map, instantly TPs back top, get back to the farm game. You don't have that same presence out from Blacklist. Again, their supports can rotate nicely, but no one has that mobility that the Spirit Breaker has outside of just Abed. And with the levels being where they are...
Oh my god. You didn't say that on camera. Natsumi just TP'd to the tier 1 and canceled his TP.
Oh.
Yeah. He literally just pressed TP to the tier 1 tower bottom lane and canceled. So now he's farming the
Don't
jump.
fault him. I don't think he can hold that lane anyhow. You know, seeing you, knowing that PYW can charge, might as well just walk into the jungle safely. Somewhat understandable. I don't know why he decided to TP anyhow, but he does course correct. That bot tower will just fall. They've got room to shove in mid, and they are. Slowly but surely, getting that poking and prodding in. You should be able to find that tower trade, which does end up maybe slightly better here for Blacklist, considering clearing out mid. They can try to rotate top. Lines are drawn towards Shiro. They've got the roar ready on Gabby. They can just get the follow through. Would be one way to hold this game back their way for Blacklist.
Might be Shiro. The big target they want. Shiro, good game sense to back himself out right in the nick of time. Just allowing you in the meantime to take that down that bottom tier 1 tower. Of course, Shiro, he's just going to TP back towards the tier 2 mid. So, not interested at all, of course, in being caught out. We'll just hang by that tier 2 mid and farm the creep wave safely. Because Blacklist International, they will just take the time to push in the tier 1 tower now up at the top lane. But LGD, of course, looking to play a slow game. Like, with this style of draft with a TB, you're more than happy to drag this game out as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, you don't mind just getting this time to scale up. I don't think Blacklist minds too much either. And you're still waiting for that initial Ags timing for Gabby. He's had a little bit of a slower lane up top. You need much more farm and Natsumi for this Ursa to really feel in control. They're still hanging on to that mid. Some pressure coming out from LGD. Again, Shiro showing up early, has Metamorphosis ready. Already getting some chip damage in, but not fully committing. I think as long as Blacklist, despite these early losses, again, just get this farm up for these two side lane cores, for the Ursa and the Beastmaster. Mitigate losses, hang on to this mid-tier 1 as long as possible. You still have some later timings to play for, but LGD certainly aren't looking to mess around with that.
Tier 1 mid tower they'll go. No contest so far from Blacklist International, just watching the tier 1 mid tower drop. Slowly but surely the Shiro's damage output. They do secure. Arbet thought about going in, but decides better of it. In fact, now Zhao top lane's been caught. Zhao is down. Another nice charge from PYW. Able to secure another kill for themselves as Gabby also being caught on the Beastmaster, trying to run away. Is forced to pop the roar, but it won't matter. He's still going to drop here to Why You Smile. And boy, oh boy, LGD now. Making it look like they were the winners of game 1.
Yeah, just stomping down Blacklist, who again, they don't have play at the moment. Even if they try to force fights, there's no way they have enough damage to dig through the Pango and the Timbersaw. Maybe you could burst around Shiro, but you really need the Axe to be up and running on your Beastmaster. You need the Blink Battle Fury to be up and Natsumi. That's still a ways off. Are trying to sneak forward with a smoke. Abed and Tim's looking for a flank. They can get the chain connections, perhaps. They could consider echoes, but that shield rune does make things tough.
I bet it does. Abed's going to catch him with an 8th of Remnant. They'll get the Bushwhack as well on Echoes. Jump in again. Echoes with a double jump, but the Astral Step again in from Abed, and Echoes is actually just dead. I mean, I thought he had a way out of that one, but apparently not. He just ends up dying.
Yeah, an important kill for Blacklist to finally find, especially for Abed, who again, his lane just a little bit slow, still trying to work onto the Manta. They are buying some important space. This is action taken away, focus taken away from Gabby, focus taken away from Natsumi, who has been free farming bot. Battle Fury still a little bit of a ways off. 200 gold until the broadsword, 450 for the recipe. But once the Battle Fury's up, the recovery process should begin in earnest for Natsumi. Close that gap with the difference here from Shiro. And I still appreciate what LGD's ideas are. Still playing clumped up. They're playing off the back of Shiro, showing in that mid lane. Smoke out for Echoes and Y. No blink from the Pango yet, but with the Spirit Vessel, we can make short work of some of these tankier targets and just melt through Zhao as well. Take away the regen aspect of that Enchantress in the middle of these fights. See if they connect properly with a smoke.
They've got the Ags up on Gabby. This could be some very awkward timing. With the Ags up, they've got a lot more damage output here on the Beastmaster. As New is going to go down to Natsumi. Already a very nice start for Blacklist International. As now LGD still looking to come in. They'll pop the Rolling Thunder. They'll move in, but it's a very obvious initiation as Gabby, he does get spotted. They have found the Beastmaster, and they've blown him up. Gabby is down. But I thought LGD, there's no way they're going to be able to pull off this team fight with this kind of Rolling Thunder initiation. But they knew exactly where Gabby was hanging about. And with the Beastmaster down, with that Ag's power spike, they had no fear.
Yeah, it's this target prioritization from LGD that's just really clever. As long as the roar doesn't fly out, you don't have the fully charged drums. He's not going to regen through as much. There's no threat from Beastmaster if he doesn't get that spell usage off. Just so hard to find with all of the stuns from the side of LGD as well. Can't even catch PYW yet.
Certainly not PYW. He's going to go for a run with the bulldoze. Eventually, they should have him. Well, they've got to kill him in about 5 seconds, otherwise that charge is going to be a problem. But Arvid will get it done. No problems here. Finally, PYW does get caught. 4-9 now is the scoreline. LGD is still 1k in the lead in terms of the net worth department. It does start to feel like Blacklist are slowly clawing their way back, especially now with Natsumi picking up his Battle Fury. But up until we see the net worth swings or maybe a good team fight, I can't say that with confidence. I mean, LGD is still looking pretty damn good here for game.
That they are, but I don't think they're that comfy with just this 1k lead. Majority of that's on Shiro. You've sacrificed Echo's farm a little bit as well to get all of this going for yourself. The farm distribution on the side of Blacklist is a lot more even. Gabby and Natsumi at around the same level in terms of what they've managed to build up. Although Natsumi has to be a tad bit careful this far forward.
That he does, Natsumi. Able to get away, though. Why you smile, still trying to chase him down. They've got the charge out from PYW, so again, they have plenty of vision on Natsumi, and PYW, he continues to go in, landing the charge, nether strike out to boot, and Natsumi is down. Well, that's just confidence, diving the tier 2 tower like that, knowing there was going to be no repercussion to it. And nobody responds. There are 3 TPs on the map from Blacklist International, and nobody uses one. Only Xiao shows up, and Xiao dies immediately.
Again?
No, PYW, he is just not allowing them any space. Now Tims will drop. Why you smile with another pickup on the Ogre? They're onto the tier 2 bottom tower. You know what? This might actually be a pretty cheeky combo. You know, this whole Ogre Terrorblade level 2 timing, it actually worked out. And now they just overtake the game.
Yeah, and it's just a snowball effect. Again, it's just a lot faster for the Ogre Magi to hit all of his level spikes. He's going to have level 2 multicast at 11. You know, you get your talents earlier. It's just persistent. You basically knock out, I guess, overall, like the level 25 requirement. It's a lot of EXP to knock out in game. And again, it still synergizes well with what a Terrorblade wants to do with the Bloodlust already sieging onto the mid-tier 2. Bot just falls. Blacklist not interested in any sort of defense whatsoever. Needs so much more farm. Then the farm distribution from Blacklist is clean, but they're not really able to fight. And that has been noticeable. Like ever since that Ags reveal from Gabby, he has not been interested after that aggression on the top tier 1. The mid is still set to fall. There's just nothing to stop it.
There is certainly nothing. LGD looking to finish the game in 19 minutes themselves, it seems, as they're onto the tier 3 towers now. We're just kind of returning the favor. They're like, all right, you want to finish game on that quick? We'll do the same to you. It really is just so hard to know who's winning what when you have series like this where one game just goes so decisively one way and then the second game is going so decisively the other way. Now Roshan was started, but immediately it was scanned out. Blacklist International were not feeling confident to continue, so they do retreat.
Full pack, really good read. They've got good forward wards as well to protect that path up onto Roshan. LGD could get a good connection here still.
If they can find Arbed, they'd be very happy, but the Aether are going to cancel the charge of PYW, and now Arbed looking to move back in and burst down PYW, and they might just have him. The Spirit Breaker unable to get away. In fact, Gavi, he just pops the roar. Screw it, I just want the kill. I don't care for the rest of the fight. And they take it.
And it's an important one to find. It was LGD in a smoke position, funneling down to try to cut off Roshan. They don't find the kill, so they can't get into the Rosh themselves as well. And that does provide some breathing room here for Blacklist to keep the steady build-up. Does look like Gabby is going to be rushing the BKB, wants to be able to hold that frontline position, get the roar off. Nothing to really pierce through that debuff immunity here. And that should allow Gabby the game he wants to play. You're spotting out echoes here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Echo's still going to run.
Dire's courier
Just
has
fine
been
to get away down to this bottom lane. Meanwhile, top lane, Gabby. In a spot of danger if they can actually close the gap
Dire's
onto the
bottom
beast, but
tower is under attack.
it looks like he's perfectly fine. Nobody really going to be able to get close enough to lock him down. There's going to be a decent group up here, up at that top lane though from LGD, and it does seem like they want to try for Roshan. And it's not going to take them too long either. At Blacklist International, they are starting to group up at that top lane to see if they can contest this Roshan play. Roshan already about half HP. Blacklist are coming. They've got time, but they don't have too much time to think about this. They've got to move in ASAP. Scan is out. They know they're there. Arbed's going to jump in to check out the Roshan HP, but it's still relatively healthy. They've got time to think about it now, but the Rolling Thunder is in. Echoes, he wants to start the fight. Gabby's popped his BKB. They've got Shiro with the roar out, but Shiro's not copying enough damage. Shiro, no, he's gone. Arbed caught him with an Aether Remnant. They continue though. Echo's trying to fight. Natsumi is down. They've lost the Ursa. Arbed in trouble. He'll turn back onto YU Smile. They look for the Ogre kill. They'll secure that. Echo's moving in once again with PYW. The YU Smile also buying back into the fight. But LGD are the ones retreating as Roshan says, F this shit, I'm out. Just goes right through the twin gates while all this is happening. Meanwhile, the Pango, Echoes is down. YU Smile still fighting. So is PYW, but they're fighting Arbed. They're fighting Zhao. PYW is down. Zhao is just tanking everything and taking all the kills apparently as the Ench. So as YU Smile, he will run. And Roshan is caught. He literally just left the building.
And he does. Now it's very favorable for Blacklist off the respawn of Natsumi to just gun for Roshan. The mass TPs are out. There's going to be no response from the side of LGD. They bought back to find nothing. Just unfortunate. You know, Shiro right in the middle gets controlled up by Abed in his jump in. Gets targeted down by Gabby. Gets roared up and just melts. Like, sure, Natsumi's gone, but you've got enough output on Abed to clean up. And they still find Roche anyhow on the side of Blacklist. A huge swing back for Blacklist off those sequence of events. 2K lead coming off their way. Again, the target prioritization from Gabby. Just getting the roar off, getting the chain control with a Remnant right in the middle of all those heroes. If that Remnant didn't connect, that fight would have been very different with the Sunder in play there from Shiro.
Yeah, kind of ridiculous how he found the Aether Remnant angle onto the TB of all things in the middle of a team fight. Like he literally threaded the needle when there was like 3 heroes surrounding him. Very impressive from our Void Spirit. And well, for Shiro, he must have been feeling real bad about that one, just being unable to ever get his rather not his BKB, but his Sunder off. Speaking of BKBs, by the way, Shiro has not queued one up. He'd rather have one, I think, in a game like this, but he is probably afraid of the roar that could come out from Gabby anyway, so won't really bother.
And maybe a Linken's could help Shiro a little bit more. Just tried to play with a Manta, plus the Linken's to protect could be one way, but the BKB becomes a little bit more enticing. You've got the full Ags on Abed. That silence can ruin him in the middle of these fights when he's trying to look for the Sunders if he's not chain controlled already. So you've hit your major item spikes now on the side of Blacklist. BKB Ags for Gabby, you've got the Blink Battle Fury for Natsumi, and the Ags plus the Manta for Abed. The Void Spirit's fully online to take control in these fights. Despite all of that, again, it's still rather even, but you lose a lot of that tempo you had on LGD. Might lose a little bit more here.
YU Smile is going to be able to retreat for now. Shiro is going to show up, though, on the TB. Abed will happily just bounce his way out of there, no problem. D-Wards will come out immediately from the Ogre. LGD, I mean, they are still heavily grouped up in the mid lane, but it doesn't really seem like they want the fight. They are just going to happily retreat.
Look at this. Gabby's going for the Dagon. Something that we saw WS do in those TI qualifiers. Getting that spell lifesteal going his way.
I mean, it's kind of nice. But even just the TB illusions getting deleted, it's going to be quite nice. Speaking of getting deleted, Echoes is gone. Arvid will happily secure that one as he's looking for a little bit more now. Maybe spotting out YU Small. Does jump in with the amp damage rune, hoping for another kill. Acorn Shot going to bounce through, but they do not have the lockdown. But you're at the stage now in this game too, where Blacklist International, they have well and truly taken control of the game. And OGD, I mean, props to them for making this laning stage work, but it almost starts to feel like we're back into what happened in game 1.
Does.
Sort of Atos out, has caught YU Smile, and of course now the Ogre will just get completely deleted.
Dire's bottom tower is
Yeah.
under attack.
Doesn't take too long with the output from Natsumi. I think your biggest issue in LGD is that this Pangolier doesn't really have play. Went for the early Spirit Vessel. We didn't see that much utilization out from Echoes with that early spike. Trying to go back for the Yags.
Bottom tower
There's just a lot to be concerned about. You don't have that usual like Echo Saber for the stat padding for a little bit more damage as well, and the mana sustain. Again, you just didn't get the value you'd want fully from that Spirit Vessel either. They will try with a smoke out. Full BKB and Natsumi. With the Aegis being up though, can make this very challenging for the side of LGD.
They're coming. OGD could run into Tim's first. Ping's already out here for the Hoodwink. Tim's does have help right behind him though, but are they gonna be committed to help? Not quite. Tim's is down. They'll make the jump in on a Gabby now. Spirit Vessel out on the Beastmaster. Gabby, they're going to pop the raw BKB and just go right onto the Pango. Can they kill him? Echo's about to go down, and he
Oh
does.
my God.
Arbet picks him off. PYW dropping low. So is Natsumi, but he's got the secondary life. Now Shiro getting caught on the TB. Still has the Sunder to play with, but might need to use it, and does now onto Zhao. Zhao still healing, but does finally go down as Arbet. Also getting shredded by New. Not great news now for Blacklist International. They all need to retreat. You looking for a little bit more, still chasing down Tim's. Tim's not realizing they're right around the corner. Continuing to try to run. Should be okay to make it out. The key word is should. Because New's not done. He still wants it. Yule's out. Hoodwink caught. Fire Blast to lock him down. Tim's will finally fall.
In LGD, they had to make those kills happen with the buyback commitment once again from Echoes. A little bit hasty from Blacklist, right? They get the roar off, they pop their BKBs to get the hits onto the Rolling Thunder. So there's no BKB for Natsumi in the secondary life. You can't really turn around with the Aegis. They'd make it a lot harder to follow through. And again, Abed only has the Lincolns, only has the Manta as his defensive tool, is working towards the Lincolns as well to block off the Nether Strikes. But until that's up, he is still susceptible to the hold from LGD as long as PYW gets his target prioritization here. 3K lead still standing for Blacklist, 15-19. LGD showing us that, again, there is still some output to play with here. New being very disruptive with the blink at Yule. It's cutting off the retreat lines that Blacklist tends to look for. And you're building nicely on Shiro. As the Scotty up is going back for that BKB. So wants to remove the threat of the Resonant Pulse Silence. Still susceptible to the roar, but Gabby has a hard decision to make in the middle of these fights. Is it still worth it roaring up Echoes? He's the bottom network core. The Rolling Thunder is annoying, but if you roll this guy, and the BKB Terrorblade, when that's up, it's just going to wreck your face in the middle of these engagements.
That certainly will. Very back and forth here for this game number 2. Shiro will start working on towards said BKB. International, they are still by that top lane. It seems like they want to try to get into that Dire jungle at the moment. A lot of hesitation, it seems. It's kind of interesting as well, watching Natsumi sit back and let Gabby take the creep wave. You're just watching Gabby on this Beastmaster farming while Natsumi just watches him. Look at this. Gabby's still just taking all the farm.
Of course, he wants that build-up, you know? As a former one, he feels entitled to it, Mike, and he will have it.
He was literally blinking and stealing the camps off Natsumi. I'm not even making this up. We panned off for a moment, and I'm like, why is Gabby blinking ahead of Natsumi and taking the camp? After the creep wave, by the way, I should add this. Here we go. T2 top tower under siege.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It is traded, of course, and both bottom and top T2 towers do go down, so nothing too interesting happening here.
Yeah. It's going to be a little bit interesting as to how the Roche is approached now by both teams. Should be a nighttime respawn if it is a quick one. If it's a little bit slower, it's going to be daytime to Blacklist's advantage. But LGD are holding that current area. It's going to be interesting to see if they can maintain that control on a longer respawn and try to gun for that rush.
Dire's top
They do need those safety nets. Again, they're stalling for time here. Shiro only a little bit away from the full BKB, 350 gold off. Again, once you have that, Gabby has to make that choice. Do you just ignore the Pangolier, allow him to get the Rolling Thunder off, and just focus down this Terrorblade? Will you have to roar the Terrorblade up in the end? It does make it a little bit difficult. It does add some complication for the approaches here on Blacklist's part. Still, they do understand Roche is going to be the playing point as well. Set up some forward wards right next to the outpost on the entrance. Is going to end up being a daytime spawn regardless. Oh, it's still a nighttime spawn, but with very little time. Smoke out LGD. If they win this next fight, the easy access into Roshan could turn this game around for them.
Here we go. Sneaking up by that top lane. He'll front line. Same spot. Gabby's still in that tree line. In that exact same spot. Echo's going to have a look around. He hasn't found him yet, but he found Natsumi and Tim's. The Hoodwink already being targeted and does go down immediately as Natsumi now being locked down, but he's got the enrage off in time. He can try to escape for a little bit, but surely not for much longer. He'll still bounce his way out of there. It's complete chaos for the fight. Natsumi able to blink away just barely. The Tim's the only one to go down. I mean, OGD threw everything but the kitchen sink at this Ursa. And they still could not kill him off. Mind you, Natsumi did have the perfect enraged timing. Literally just tanking through all the spells they threw at him. But now Roshan's up. LGD, they will follow Roshan through the Twin Gates. And it's up to Blacklist as to whether they want to try and contest this. They are going to scan out the side of LGD. LGD actually not rushing for the Roshan, but rather rushing for another fight. But now they'll go back for the Roshan.
It's fairly telegraphed. They do have good forward vision set. The scan does give that information. Roche, not going to take too long with the output from Shiro, but there is enough time for a disruptive play here if they can find this jump with Abed.
Jump is there. Abed, he's going to scout out now. Natsumi in the Roshan pit as well. The Aegis Shiro, he's picked it up. The Terrorblade has got it. Natsumi is down. The Ursa has lost his life as Gabby will at least trade with New, and now Echoes to drop the boot. Gabby's the real carry. Gabby will get it done. No Natsumi necessary. Shiro to drop the boot. Triple kill for Gabby. And it might just be an ultra. Shiro, what can you do? The ant. Oh, Gabby's down. He does at least find the Beastmaster. Tips out from why you swap.
He did manage to get that condemned Sunder going his way. No minimum HP. Mads managed to delete Gabby in revenge, but still a massive loss for LGD. Had the right idea. They hold off on the Roshan, but again, the scan gave so much information out for Blacklist. Very telegraphed play anyhow into that bot Roche pit. And Blacklist just get the punishment. Abed again getting that jump, being very disruptive, even though they don't manage to steal anything away, is enough to cause havoc and soften up these targets with no spell immunity on hand or debuff immunity on hand. On Echoes, couldn't try to get a roll off. You did have your Guardian Greaves plus yields up in the Timber Saw, but again, just these Resonant Pulses, these jumps out from Abed, your lack of easy control doesn't make it a challenge for LGD. 8k lead for Blacklist off the top of that exchange, at the least for LGD. Without the Aegis access for Blacklist, high ground is a lot tougher for them to approach. They will just find a free tier 2 eventually, with Illusions doing a ton of work by themselves. That leaves no outer access any longer in terms of objectives here for the side of LGD. Simplifies the game a lot more for Blacklist. They're going to reach the point where, you know, Natsumi will get the Octarine up, more uptime on Enrage, more spamming of the Earth Shock. With the Enrage, that applies as well. It's going to be harder to try to pin down this Ursa. You already have the full Shivas up on Gabby. Going for the higher levels in the Dagon. Just looking for that burst, which is fair. Again, you've got damage amplification coming out from Inner Beast mode. So you might as well utilize that.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit triggered seeing that PYW is holding 2 boots at the moment.
Yes, 2 feet, Mike. And he wants some drums.
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Look, PYW is not Gyrocopter, okay? He can't just disassemble the drums.
Don't buy him.
He wants the drums. It's
Don't buy
decent.
them.
It's a little
It's
bit more
bait.
move speed. It allows you to run away. It does cancel out all slows. You have to consider that aspect as well, at least for the caster. So even if you get enchanted up, you will still be able to charge away. I do believe. Like, you are immune to slows, it should be. Although, I don't know if it's dispellable. I don't think it is. So theoretically, again, yeah, it does make sense up against the enchantress specifically.
Could you not have just bought like a Lotus Orb or something, John?
You could, but this is cheaper,
Okay. Is it?
mildly. No, it's actually not.
No, it's-
Okay, never
no.
mind. The defense is out. Okay.
It is what
Radiant's courier has been killed.
I'm just, I'm one of those guys that likes to nitpick every little thing, John. As if I could, stand to actually play with the boys in this game. You know?
Yeah,
Dire
it's fair.
are scanning.
I mean, it has its utility as an aura, I suppose. Smoke
Dire's
out,
bottom
Blacklist.
tower is under
They've
attack.
got the full Scotty up on Abed now as well. And with the stat padding that you get from your innate of intrinsic edge. 310 damage with all stat items. Pretty good, Mike.
Yeah, I do agree, Jonathan. That is pretty nice. Nothing wrong with that. Blacklist Internet. Roaming around, trying to find themselves a pick on.
Radiant are
Bottom
scanning.
lane, Scan is going to spot out
Radiant's top tower
LGD. New going to reveal himself with a Chakram. Tim's charged up by PYW. They'd love the hoodwink first, and Tim's about to drop it. Now the roar is out. They've caught the Timbersaw. New, he has, gets the heals off in time, but can he chain away? Ogre still totem, but Zhao's
Ooh.
got him. Zhao will catch him with the impetus. They want more though. They're onto the edge, but Zhao is just tanking through it. He'll finally go down. Blacklist International have seen enough. So have LGD. They will both retreat. But Blacklist now looking to go back in, seeing the BKB has one off of Shiro. All PYW
W.
gets caught mid-charge. Arbid catches him with the Aether Remnant. And I don't even know if Arbid did that on purpose. I'm pretty sure he was trying to scout the high ground for reward or something of the sort. And he actually ends up finding himself a Spirit Breaker charging.
Oh, look, if it connects, you don't question it. All planned by Abed, of course. All Cuckoo's fault as well. Forgot to sneak
course.
that in the first game. Cuckoo's fault. Always
Always.
is. And 19-minute game, Cuckoo's fault. 35-minute game, Cuckoo's fault. Always his fault. Dagons are piled up now on Gabby. Burst damage in play. Gotta love this. Ever since, ever since we saw this in TI Balls, it's just so funny. Still, why?
Yeah, getting caught is down. No chance of surviving that one. If they do jump in with the rolling dump, they're going to try. Buy back onto the Ogre to boot. Rory's out already on Shiro. Shiro in danger, but Gabby's the only one hitting him right now, so the Sunder will be able to come out, and Gabby is going to be the one to fall, as now Tims will follow right by his off lane. Natsumi also caught out. The BKB wears off just in the nick of time, and he is left behind to boot. LGD able to punish the side of Blacklist International now. 3 down for the price of 1, really? Mind you, it was 2 buybacks committed, but LGD, I'm sure, will be pretty happy with it nonetheless.
It's not the biggest buybacks anyhow. It's still 2 support buybacks in the end for LGD. You managed to take out 2 big cores from the side of Blacklist. No Roshan to play for, but with no buybacks in Blacklist, a high ground rush could come into play here for LGD. Could look for at least 1 set of racks. Although Natsumi does get his buyback back on time. See if that's something they'll want to force out here. They are in position. It's too early for the Roshan. They will go for it.
E3 towers once again under siege. Arbed trying to clear out the creep wave. Does do a decent job of it. Not really going to force them back anyway. Zhao will get started on Shiro. You are at that stage, of course, with the Hurricane Pike up on Zhao, where he can hit like an absolute truck. But they are respecting the edge quite a lot throughout these engagements. In fact, they'll jump him right now with the Rolling Thunder, trying to burst him down, though Zhao will survive the initial onslaught of damage that wasn't coming. They actually just could not kill him. He's fine. Now the chase is on. Arbed having a look for a target.
Radiant's top tower
Unable to find one. So LGD, they do successfully get away after taking the melee barracks in the mid lane. Blacklist International, they will give no kills away, but still some nice objectives being taken now by LGD.
Slight advantage on the mid, shoving in. That will cause some attention to be diverted here from Blacklist. They can start to they can start to clear it out. I'm sorry. I just got a. I had some side comments flying in from the community, Mike. I got a message from Mr. Lane. Yes, from Mr. Geekfam, formerly geekfam.lane, boom.lane, who has partnered with Mr. Natsumi a couple of times. He's complaining about Natsumi's Ursa. Just wanted to get that out there. He has a hater on hand for Natsumi.
Well, what's he said, Jonathan? What's Alphon think about this Ursa? Give us a comment.
Radiant are scared.
He just said, expletive Ursa of Kuya et, then sent me a picture of Natsumi scratching his head. Sometimes
what,
your biggest haters are your best friends, Mike.
I don't know if I disagree with Alphon, John, I'll be honest. You know, with the way things have been going. Shout out to Zach. Love you, Zach. I heard Gary's hiring again, Zach, if you needed a job.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Gary is certainly watching. Someone's going to tell him, hey, Gary, you were mentioned again. Those two idiots keep talking about you. You're not even there.
What time is Boom playing, by the way? Can't wait to watch those games. Anyway, bottom lane. No time to talk about Boom Esports right now, Jonathan. Smoke is out from LGD. 4-man smoke, in fact. They'll run through the bottom lane. If they find Natsumi again, I mean, Zach might be sending you another message very soon, John. Natsumi will retreat back towards his team now. Still is in a position to break his own smoke, and does. They will see you on the timber. You, of course, will be happy to move right in onto Zhao, though Zhao will Hurricane Pike him away and get to work with the right. He's trying to burst down the Timber Saw. Here comes the Rolling Thunder, though, locking down a couple. Roar out, New in trouble on the Timber. He does go down, but they do find Natsumi! Again, the Ursa is gone, and now Abed.
Oh, God.
Abed just gave up. He threw his keyboard across the room, seeing Natsumi die again. Zhao, he'll try to get out of there. But the charge is on from PYW. Bushwhack will not land either from Tim's. And Zhao, he will drop eventually. 3 down for the price of 1, and you brought back anyway. He just did not care. Update me when Zach sends the message, John. Let me know what he says.
He just sent me screenshots of Scam saying it's a free Ursa game. Not looking so free right now, unfortunately, you guys, in the past. They lose that Roche fight, it's gonna, well, they're not gonna take Roche, still set to respawn, but they're rushing tier 4s. LGD wants to force the buybacks, want to force something out from Blacklist here. This goes fast.
Oh, it goes fast. LGD, they are not messing around. Roar out. Gabby, he's going to try and defend by himself, but the buybacks are incoming. New now being targeted. The dieback on the Timber Saw. He's okay for now. New. No, he can't make it out. The sharpshooter will get him as now YU Smile also being chased does go down. 2 diebacks on LGD. But I don't believe Blacklist International can really get anything out of this. Objective-wise, ooh, hold on. They've got Roshan.
Yeah.
I forgot Roshan wasn't done.
Yeah. It was left alone. It wasn't up yet when LGD won that fight. So they're going to be able to go in. But there are wards scouting. There's no... They don't drop the sentry in Zhao. This is a very telegraphed Roche. But they lack the numbers on LGD to contest. This should go Natsumi's way. Cover the buyback that he did commit for. Get themselves a Roche banner and a refresh shard as well, which could be very important for Gabby to pick up. Double roar. It's going to be massive here. Or just double BKB, double end range for Natsumi. It can be nice as well. Do keep it on Zhao for now. Need to try to equalize the lanes at this point. Maybe to get the racks going. Gabby's already pushing in down bot. Yeah, this is the one. That is exactly what Lane sent me for some reason. He had a similar post from Natsumi. Yeah.
I told you he looked nervous. I told you he looked nervous, John. You were like, no, that's how he always looks, Mike. And I'm like, no, he looks nervous.
He's a shy guy, you know? He has a shy expression. They do drop the banner, so the Fortify is not going to stop this push at all. Blacklist should be able to get at least 1 rack their way to respawns. Still a ways off. And that dieback on you certainly helping the cause for Blacklist. If they didn't catch that one, it would have been a very different story if you managed to get a reset on the Tim.
Some illusions being taken out. Ahmed actual stepping for the TB illusions. Well, they're onto the tier 3 mid tower now. Getting a hell of a lot out of this fight. PYW, he'll charge in. Echoes is there as well with the Rolling Thunder, though they aren't able to find too much. You know, I was just saying a second ago, these double diebacks weren't going to amount to too much here for Blacklist International, but not only did they get Roshan, but they found 2 tier 3 towers, 1 lane of barracks, And now a Torment. I take back what I said, Jonathan. They find a hell of a lot.
That they do. No, Natsumi's starting to get the items he needs once you have this Ags up on your Ursa. I mean, again, he did buy back earlier, so there's no point holding in. Once he gets that Enrage through the stuns, it makes a massive difference for Natsumi to stay alive with that Octarine. It should be a lot harder to look for that burst play on this key target now for LGD. And Blacklist, they are holding on to a, you know, at 43 minutes in, 11k is not the worst position for LGD. They're keeping up with Farm and Shiro. A lot of this gold is still going to Gabby. Like you mentioned, you know, Gabby's been soaking up a ton of farm. But it is impactful. He's got the refresh shard on hand. He's working onto his own refresh orb now. You are very close to finishing up New's Sight of Vice. And if you could work your way onto Sight of Vice on Y, I think that's where the game really changes with multicast, although.
Smoke on smoke scenario here, Jonathan. 5-on-5 smoke. Both teams rushing towards the dire triangle. Blacklist will be the first ones in. LGD, they will reveal they're by the bot lane here with New just spamming those chakrams. LGD still looking to wrap back into the triangle. Very patient though. Not going yet. Waiting for the right opportunity. They are lacking a lot of vision around this area, the LGD, so it's a bit of a hard fight to start. Blacklist are now in their base. They're just waiting to see if they'll come back in the base, and they are certainly coming, but the mid-Rax is now under siege. And Natsumi, he'll just start on the racks once again. Meanwhile, Echoes, he'll come in. They caught Abed. Maybe they can do with the Void Spirit, or maybe not. Abed will just astral step away. Instead, they will try for Zhao on the edge, but Zhao is just healing up so damn much. They'll finally take him down. And Blacklist, seeing Zhao has died back, they immediately leave, of course. So LGD, they are on the chase to see if they can find a little bit more. PYW getting caught. Gabby's going to jump in with the Roar out. They've got PYW down. A 4v4 then. PYW, he'll buy back. It's now Armin. A big dissimulate. A lot of damage. Natsumi, he's trying to man up against Shiro, but he can't do it. He needs to get out of there. Natsumi, has he gone too far? He has. The Aegis is down. However, Shiro looking for his son to target, but though the Roar comes in, Gabby's caught him. Gabby's caught him. The double kill is out, but the buyback is immediate from Shiro. They go on to Echoes now. The Pangolier in danger. Echoes have no way out of this one. We'll go down to Natsumi. But both heroes down for LGD. They do have buyback.
That they do. 31 to 31. 19k lead coming out now for Blacklist off the back of this. You've got the full Daedalus up on Tim's. He's basically a secondary carry. Zhao has a Demon Edge on hand as well, so he's ready to scale up in damage. No way to cover for the next fight just yet. Roshan still 3 minutes until we'll see the timer. UYW very close to... Oh.
Ooh. UYW very close to getting caught. Not quite. Go on, Jonathan. Make your point, Jonathan. I have something to complain about once you're done.
All right. I think for LGD, it's actually important these supports start to find some farm. You are seeing a very big net worth difference with Tims and Zhao. The important thing is still Y with a Sight of Vice. If you can get that done, I think the game changes. Again, double, just multicast Sight of Vice can just change these engagements. You already have one on you, but it doesn't feel like it's enough in terms of hard single target control. You need more. You need this Ogre to actually find some gold somehow.
They've got an amp damage on Tims with the Daedalus up. This Acorn shot is really going to hurt. And he's got the level 25, so he's got 2 charges of Acorn shot. It's really going to hurt if they start the fight early. They need to wait at least another 10 seconds to let that amp damage wear off, because it's going to be too much. And they will. I mean, they're not going to fight. Not yet. Blacklist, onto the racks. Mid-racks is down. That's enough for them. They're not going to try for the third and final barracks quite yet. They'll just be happy to have 2 lane of barracks going their way. The LGD Gaming, I mean, they're kind of just back to the drawing board, just holding high ground, waiting for Blacklist to come to them. And what I wanted to complain about, John, is I tried running this exact same build on Hoodwink in one of my pub games. And because my carry was absolute trash, he had to start pinging the fact that I had a Daedalus on Hoodwink. And I was like, dude, this is like a really busted item. I'm so sick of my pub calls getting upset that I picked up a damage item on my support hero, John, is what I wanted to say.
I mean, you know, there's some contextual clues that has to come in. Like maybe it was a better game for like Yulitz into Wind Waker.
It was.
Maybe you needed. No, okay. But if you say so, I have no idea. It is a good item if the game allows for it. If you don't need that much more save on your Hoodwink, it's a lot of output from Tim's. You can just hang back, of course. And again, with Tree Bounce Trick Shot, you don't even need heroes to be around. Just near the tree line, could maybe get lucky for solo pick-off potential as well. The one big issue I'm seeing right now for Blacklist is the butterfly on Shiro is making this a slower process on the Terrorblade. Natsumi's not getting enough hits in. He is trying to go for a Nullifier instead. Take away the Yults, take away some saves. And that is why Zhao is going for the MKB on his end. He's going to take care of it. Still the smoke out Blacklist. This could be the last fight if LGD's not too careful.
And not many buybacks left on the map here. They're going to jump in. Rory's out. Shiro's been caught. Oh, Shiro. Shiro's down.
Oh, boy.
Gabby gets the big one. No buyback on the TB. Abed in a bit of danger, but he's just so tanky on the Void Spirit. And now Natsumi just jumps right in. Wanting PYW. He'll go for New instead. Try for the Timber. New is down. No buyback available. There goes Echoes in the Pango. He'll buy back, but PYW's also been lost. It's 2 versus 5. And I think that's going to be a party. They won't call it, but they may as well call it. The game's over.
No, there's no stopping this. Way too long to respawns. 2 heroes against
Gabby.
5. There goes the refresh.
Refresh indeed. Gabby's got another Roar available right onto the Pango that the 4 staffs from YU Small will save. But again, I just don't see a difference being made here by these little plays from LGD as the GG is finally called. Blacklist International, Jonathan, 2-0ing LGD. In game 1, looking very dominant. Game 2, much more even between the two teams. But I mean, you've got to be